Storm Barra has brought a lot of strong winds, heavy rain, and even some significant snow to some of the hills across northern Britain as we went through the course of Tuesday. So quite an active day of weather, and it's all because of the jet stream configuration. This is how it was looking early on today, and you can see these undulations in the jet here, but some very active portions of jet here, very strong jet stream. And in this digging trough here, you can see this is where we've seen that very deep area of low pressure spin up last night, rapidly so as well, as it pushed its way towards the western side of Ireland. And it's actually going to linger across the UK for the next few days. So it's slowly weakening in situ, having raced towards us over the previous 24 hours. And it's what we call explosive cyclogenesis. That's what we saw last night. You may have heard the term weather bomb in the media before. It's basically the same thing. It just basically means an area of low pressure dropped by at least 24 millibars or more in 24 hours, which is quite a significant deepening. To give you an idea, Storm Barra yesterday morning, Monday morning, 1,016 millibars, and this morning got down to 961 millibars, which is a drop of 55 millibars in 24 hours. So more than double the definition of explosive cyclogenesis, and one of the most significant deepenings of low pressure we've seen in the North Atlantic for a number of decades, actually. So quite a significant event. Now here it is again on Wednesday morning, and still sitting over the UK. There's still a lot of isobars, so there's still going to be some strong winds around some of this area of low pressure, rain and showers rotating around it as well. But slowly through the middle part of the week, that will gradually fill. The number of isobars will be reducing, the spacing getting a little bit larger, so the winds will slowly ease Wednesday into Thursday, but there will be some showers or even perhaps some longer spells of rain in some parts of the UK during the middle of this week. And it's quite chilly air as well, so some of this will be falling wintry over some of the hills as well. And then later on in the day on Thursday, we see this next low pressure and this weather front coming in off the Atlantic. So rain spreading into western areas during the afternoon on Thursday, and that will continue its way eastwards as we go through Thursday evening and Thursday night. But as I say, that low pressure is still sitting over us. So for a time on Wednesday, there will still be some fairly strong winds. Now this is looking at the maximum gust in the 24-hour period that ends at midnight on Wednesday night. So basically the strongest winds we're going to see during the calendar day of Wednesday. And you can see with the low centred somewhere over northern Scotland, here the winds will be lightest inland across Scotland, but strong northwesterly winds on the south flank of this low, running in across the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, through the Irish Sea and into Wales. And here in this zone we could see gusts over 60 miles an hour along some exposed coast, perhaps even stronger than that offshore. And then on the north flank of the low, again some strong southeasterly winds coming into the Northern Isles and the far north of the Scottish mainland here, with again gusts getting up to 60, maybe 65 miles an hour too. Still blustery in the south, although not quite as strong as we'll have seen during the course of Tuesday. So still quite a blustery, windy sort of day Wednesday, with the showers and rain rotating around that low. And the closer you are to the southeast, the fewer the showers generally you'll tend to get. And so some places could just about stay dry during Wednesday. But back to the front then on Thursday, late Thursday, coming in from the west. Now this might develop a small low near northern France, and that could pep up the rain for a time across East Anglia and the southeast Thursday evening, Thursday night. Into Friday, still this cool northwesterly, but very slowly that low's filling in, weak ridge coming in from the west. So things are trying to settle down a little bit as we head through the latter part of the week into Friday and early Saturday. Still a few showers running down these North Sea coasts, but overall something a little bit drier for a time, but still that chilly air. So with lighter winds, we will see a return to some frost in places, depending on where the breaks in the cloud are. So a bit of a frosty and maybe a few icy patches around on some of the nights later this week with those lighter winds. But even by this stage, the next front's coming in off the Atlantic, and that will continue then to track its way eastwards through the day on Saturday. So we'll get bits and pieces of rain and strengthening winds in the northwest, but not really getting down into the southeast till quite late on in the day. So still that rather chilly air mass hanging on into the southeast during the day Saturday, but mild air will be coming in behind these weather fronts as we go through Saturday night. So actually some places will be fairly chilly Saturday daytime, but Saturday night could well see temperatures getting up into double figures as this mild air wafts its way in off the Atlantic, and that will end the rather chilly spell that we've had for quite some time now. Now, in the run-up to Christmas, we're offering a special discount code for WQRadar. If you use the word Santa when you sign up, you can get it for 1 year for £25 instead of £48. And it's a very handy tool if you're doing a lot of outside work, or if you just want to know where the nearest lightning strikes are. You can track the 5-minute radar, see where the rain and showers are, see where the lightning is, and set yourself up some lightning alerts as well. So you'll get a text or an email telling you when lightning is near you, And you can go back and look at some of the archive data too. And in particular, through the winter months, this precipitation type radar showing where rain, sleet and snow is falling. This red here, for example, is a snow event earlier on in the month as well. So quite a handy tool, lots of features on there. Much more information, head on to WQRadar.co.uk, and that discount code continuing till the end of this year. Now for Sunday, looking at the bigger picture, again, that mild air coming in through Saturday night into Sunday. So much of England and Wales will be in double-figure temperatures on Sunday by the looks of things. But we do have this waving weather front out towards the west. You can see this little low here. This is just one model's idea. There's still some uncertainty in the specific detail, but the idea being in the north and west, there's a chance of some rain, pulses of rain sort of running northeast along that front. And these little lows might pep up the rain in places. And still quite chilly, I think, behind this front across Scotland in particular. Temperatures here in single figures, but very mild, if rather breezy, down towards the southeast. And we're going to keep that sort of northwest-southeast split going for a lot of next week, I think. This is looking at the week as a whole. So we're looking at the 13th through to the 19th of December average for the whole 7-day period. And what you see in the red here is higher than average pressure across much of mainland Europe and lower than average pressure up towards Iceland and up off towards the Norwegian Sea. So generally speaking, it's very much a westerly flow of some sort. I think the first part of the week it will be mostly a straight westerly. So various lows running to the north of Scotland, bringing in rain, and there'll be some rain at times getting into the south as well, although it will tend to be a bit weaker here. And then during the latter half of the week, I think the position, the orientation of these features will shift. So instead of being a straight westerly, it will tend to shift more to a southwesterly, and we may see temperatures recovering a little bit more during the second half of the week. So all in all, it looks like a fairly mild week with this flow off the Atlantic, quite an unsettled week, a lot of cloud. So things like sunshine, solar radiation will be down on where it would normally be, especially given the fact it is, some of the shortest days of the year during this time frame. So quite cloudy, mild, wet at times through the week, quite windy at times as well. But most of the rain, or the heaviest of the rain, will tend to be to the northwest. And still here, with colder air nearby, we could see some continued wintry stuff on some of the higher ground. But as we head towards the Christmas period, there are signs that high pressure over mainland Europe may extend a bit further north into the UK. Now, this isn't necessarily the position of the high. This is just higher than normal pressure, where pressure would normally be low at this time of the year. I think a lot of the centre of the high initially will be over mainland Europe, but building more and more towards the southern half of the UK. So this has been a signal for quite some time now for things to become a bit more blocked as we head in the run up to Christmas and higher pressure developing closer to the UK. The position of the high is going to be crucial because actually there's going to be probably quite a bit of chilly air at low levels, down at ground level where we are, that gets trapped underneath this high with fog and frost across much of Europe. Now, for the UK, I think we could still keep temperatures a little bit above average in the north of the UK, but you can see from that high pressure, a lot of dry weather across a good chunk of Europe, really, with well below average rainfall during this time frame. But get towards the northwest of the UK, here we've got near normal rainfall with fronts coming in off the Atlantic around the top of that high, and that's where it's going to be mildest, I think, across Scotland during this time frame. Whereas you can see that signal, that blue colour here across much of mainland Europe, showing that colder than average weather with frost and temperatures struggling to get much above freezing during the day, just because there's possibly not much sunshine because of the fog and low cloud, but also because the days are pretty short at this time of the year as well. And then from around Christmas onwards, that high pressure here shifts even further north. And if this does happen, we may tap into more of an easterly flow, southeasterly feed around perhaps the southern edge of that high pressure. So again, that colder vibe that was over mainland Europe may extend further north into more of the UK around Christmas onwards. So the end of the year could end up being a bit colder than we've seen for some time, with this more of an easterly flow coming in. Again, there's still more of an Atlantic influence perhaps across parts of Scotland, but in general, a lot of settled weather potentially during the last 2 weeks of December, but a colder vibe with more in the way of frost and fog, and the fog could be quite slow to clear, and possibly quite a bit of low cloud trapped underneath this high pressure as well. So it does look like things might settle down a bit later on in the month, but for the time being, it's still pretty chilly. It's still quite unsettled this week with some rain or showers and some occasional frost as the winds fall a bit lighter later on this week. And then there are signs through the weekend turning milder, especially later in the weekend and into next week. But there will be rain at times and some windy weather too. And then, as I say, high pressure building in around mid-December, and that could linger into Christmas, where it may turn a little bit colder. Obviously, still a few weeks away for that to change, but there are signs that things will settle down and turn quite a bit chillier, at least Not necessarily a major cold spell at this stage, but a colder feel to things with more in the way of frost and fog around as well. So we'll keep on top of all those details over the next few weeks, and you can keep up to date with the latest day-by-day forecasts as ever by following us on social media.